Hey, also today I'm going to be talking about this outlet right here. And the problem with this outlet, and maybe some of you have had this happen to you in the past, or maybe you currently have it going on right now. The problem with this outlet is anytime I plug something into it, the cord just wants to fall out. Now this one hasn't gotten bad enough to where it just falls completely out, but it is bad enough to where when I plug it in, it droops down. The problem with this is if you were to touch that while it's plugged in, you get electrocuted. It could lead to arcing, and it just isn't right, so it needs to be fixed. Now, this is not uncommon. Now, it usually takes a fairly long period of time for this to actually happen. It comes from just plugging things into it, unplugging it, yanking the vacuum cord out. It could be due to heat. And just over time, there's prongs or points inside of this outlet that actually hold that cord into place, and they just wear out. So I'm going to take this cord here, plug it in, just so you can see what mine is doing. So as you can see, as soon as I plug the cord in, it just wants to droop down and basically fall out. I'll bring it in closer just so you can see a little bit better what it is doing. As soon as I try to put it back up, it just falls back down. And in some cases, this can be a lot worse where the plug just wants to fall completely out. Now, a real quick and temporary solution to getting this outlet to work, again, this is going to be a very temporary solution if you just have to use an outlet, is you can take the plug, and if you take these two prongs on top and just slightly bend them together like so, when I go to insert this into the outlet, it should stay in place. Now I want to remove this outlet from the wall so I can show you all exactly what's going wrong with it and also to get started with fixing it. So the first thing I need to do is shut off the circuit breaker that's supplying the power to the outlet. Now that the power's been turned off, now I just need to verify that the power is in fact off using an outlet tester. Now that I've verified that the power is off, now I can remove the outlet from the box. Alright. So now, once I've got this outlet pulled out, as you can see, I've got two black wires over here on this side, and on the other side, I have two white neutral wires. So what that tells me is one of these black wires is supplying the power to this outlet, and the other black wire is supplying either outlets downline or maybe even to a switch. So now I'm going to start just by removing all of my wires from the terminals. I'll start over here with the black wires. Next, the neutrals. And then the ground wire. All right, so now I'm going to go take this outlet and open it up and give you a visual as to why it's not holding the cords in the outlet anymore. All right, so here is the inside of an electrical outlet. As you can see over here, there's a piece of metal, and then over here up against the wall here, another piece of metal. This is where the plug comes in, and these two pieces of metal, when it's new, are much closer together. These 2 points are much closer together so that when the cord or the plug gets plugged into there, it holds the plug in place using friction. Those two pieces of metal being pushed together holds it in there almost like a vise. Again, same thing over here on this side. Maybe you can see this a little bit better. Piece of metal right over here and one right over here. So I'll show you a plug. As you can see, the plug goes in, and with this one, it can just go up and down, no problem. There's no friction. Those two pieces of metal are not holding this plug into place. It can just freely go as it pleases. So that's why when it got pushed in, it would just fall out. Now, if you're using a 3-prong with a ground, more than likely the plug is not going to fall out because it's got that third point of contact, and that prong is usually pretty long to where it really wouldn't be possible for it to fall out. But with the 2 prongs that most appliances use, you're constantly going to have a problem with that. So ultimately, at the end of the day, the question is, can I repair this outlet? And I guess if I had access like I currently do, because I've got this face cut off, if I had access to those points, I would be able to bend them back together, closer together to the way that they were originally, to create that friction or that tension in order to hold that plug in place. But that's not how it works. The face is not going to be cut off of here, and it would be extremely difficult in order to get to those prongs and to get them bent to where they would need to be. And even if you could do that, since the metal's already been bent, it's just going to wear out a lot faster. So to answer that question, no, you're not going to repair this thing. You're just going to have to replace it. These things do wear out, but it usually takes many, many years in order for that to happen. And they're pretty inexpensive. Depending on what grade you end up going with, whether you go with residential or commercial grade, we're talking about $2 to $6 for a new outlet. I'm going to go ahead, head back inside and install the new outlet. All right, so I'm going to be installing this just standard 15 amp tamper resistant outlet. And on this one side, we got our brass screws. That's going to be where the black wires go. And on this other side is silver, where the neutral wires will go. And then down here at the bottom is the green screw for the ground wire. So I'll go ahead and get started with installing this. All right, so first I'm going to start off with this bare copper wire, and that's going to go on this green ground screw. Now, all these wires need to go on in a clockwise direction. The wire going around it clockwise, that way as it's being tightened down, it'll help promote pulling the wire in closer to the terminal screw. Next, I'll take both of my white neutral wires and attach them to each of these silver screws. It does not matter which one goes on which terminal. Next, I'll take both of the black wires and attach them to each of the brass colored terminals. And again, it does not matter which order they go in. And now the outlet's ready to be reinstalled into the wall. All right, so as you can see, literally, the lights are back on. You can see this a whole lot better. I'm going to go ahead and test it with this outlet tester just to make sure that it's all wired up correctly. If it is, both of these lights over here will light up. So that one's good. And that one's good. And as you can see, the plug is no longer falling out. Alright y'all, so there was an explanation and a demonstration as to why plugs will fall out of outlets, and ultimately how to then fix it. I hope this video was helpful for you. If it was, please let me know by giving the video a thumbs up and leaving a comment down in the comment section. And of course, if you have any questions at all still, leave those down in the comments as well. And I hope to see you in the next one.